So I thought I should do a piece on the Trump v Clinton thing in America and the United States, because presidential election's a big thing. There's only a few days to go now. We're just in the beginning of November. It's just come out that the FBI have said Comey of the FBI, director or whatever he is, has said he feels this, that, the other needs investigating about these emails from an aide to, Mrs. Clinton, and these emails are further on top of the emails that were investigated before. The main thing I would point out about this is that he's now trying to make out, Comey, that this is a small thing he's just said, and don't take too much by what I'm saying, more or less is what he's saying. If you wanted that, then he shouldn't have made any comment at all and simply performed the investigation and let it happen in its own sweet time. What he's done is he's gone and teased everybody with this maybe that he's come up with, that maybe something will come up in these hundreds of thousands of emails or whatever. And it's to do with this aide, Abedin, this woman, and Uma Abedin, and she was married to Wiener, and Wiener's already lost his senatorship or whatever. He's already out over some kind of underage sexting thing. He was sexting to some 14-year-old girl or something. So these emails could be said to be nothing to do with Hillary Clinton. I mean, the wrongdoing could be nothing to do with her. It's pretty obvious, it seems to me, that for a start, Trump doesn't actually want to be president. Some of the comments he's made are so outlandish and so unpresidential. It's one thing to be unconventional, but to say things that are brash and just out there. Remember, every time you say something that's radical and out there, that is detrimental to another group of people, you are closing down a group of people from A, voting for you, and B, any kind of relationships you could build up with those people. So when he says things about Hispanics and black people and Chinese and whoever else, the only people he doesn't seem to insult are the Russians. Perhaps he likes the idea of a bare-chested Russian goblin riding around on a horse in the middle of the Russian outback. Maybe that has something appealing about it. It all seems a little bit YMCA to everybody else, the band, not the place, not the hostels. But he doesn't seem to have a complaint about the Russians. And Clinton is so obviously the safer bet. The other thing that makes me think Trump doesn't want it is he has dedicated this couple of days here to just within a few days of the end of the presidential race, when 20% of votes are already cast. He seems to have dedicated himself to going to states that, according to commentators on CNN and so on, are not the sort of places. I was watching Anderson Cooper 360 the other day, or night I should say, because over here in the UK it's night time when it's on. 2 hours, and they didn't have much to go on about the FBI investigation, the further investigation that nobody knows anything about, but the guy's gone and said some stupid comment. But they did say that it seems that he's going to states, Trump, that don't matter. The marginal states is where it's going to be decided. It always seems to be like this in democracies. But he's not going there. He's going to states that he's got no chance of. And this to me says a lot more about somebody wanting to make a big splash. He'll take on anything, any odds, So that afterwards he can say, well, I didn't get the presidential election because my strategy was slightly off. Maybe I should have taken advice better and gone to marginal states. I don't think he wants the presidency. I think this will get him all the publicity without any of the work. And remember, as soon as you become president, everyone finds out how shit you are. The only serious candidate is Hillary Clinton. Trump, I genuinely believe, this is just going by how he's doing stuff, he's not stupid. He is not a stupid man. So for a man like that to say the things he's saying and carry on saying them, and then visit the wrong states at a critical time, it's much more like he wants the publicity, and to say afterward, I can see him already working out a strategy whereby afterward he can say that he took on the big fights and he didn't back down even from full-on democratic states. He went in there and campaigned for votes. I can see him giving it the big I am afterward and saying he would take on any odds, rather than actually trying to get the presidency. And if it wasn't for the FBI intervention, it wouldn't even be close just now. But that stupid comment by Comey, that has really put the cat among the pigeons. I'm absolutely certain that Hillary Clinton's done some stuff she shouldn't have done. I'm not even going to talk about Bill Clinton because he's not in the presidential race. But Hillary Clinton has done some things she shouldn't have done. I bet you can't find a president, going back to George Washington, that hasn't done stuff like that. And in the end, we are only talking about words in emails. We're not talking about upsetting a major ally or a major enemy. We're not talking about getting caught out spying on Germany, who's one of your best allies. Now is one of your best allies. That's other people have done that. So, although she was Home Secretary at the time, but that's not foreign policy, which is what spying on your allies abroad means. That's foreign policy. Listening in on Angela Merkel's phone calls and stuff. So I think that it's pretty clear there's only one serious candidate. Yes, she may have done some things that are a bit wrong, but I don't think anyone questions her patriotism, which is massively important in America. And she doesn't criticise the American democratic system in the way that Donald Trump seems happy to take it apart. At a time when it's looking fragile, that's unpatriotic to do that. He would have to fix lots of problems if he got into power. Now, I don't think his policies are serious. I don't think he's serious as a candidate. I think he just wants he can afford to give the money away. And he just wants the publicity. And I think he can write just as good a biography, an autobiography afterward, based on having been in the presidential election, and snipe at Hillary Clinton all year long, all next term long, rather than actually become the president himself and try and fix stuff. He's not serious. Hillary Clinton is a serious candidate who actually has done jobs, serious jobs. And it's only the email crap that's the problem. That and a little bit of personal dislike from women who don't find her a very warm person. You don't get to be Secretary of State for the USA and be a lovely, giggly person. A huggy person. He's not like that, surely. It must be a rock hard job where you have to shit on people from a great height at times. So I don't believe that there's more than one serious candidate, and that candidate is Hillary Clinton. I can't tell the Americans how to vote. It's not my bloody business to. But I know it from what I see. One of the candidates doesn't even want the job, and will be just as happy if they get to sit on the sidelines and snipe, which is what they've been doing all along. And the other one, Hillary Clinton, would genuinely like to have the job and get on with it. And they talk about things like the healthcare thing, and they say the costs are going out of control. Compared to not having healthcare, which is the alternative that Trump is offering, I don't think there's any issue. And Trump talks very kindly of the Russians, and then on the other hand seems to want to build up an arsenal of nuclear weapons and modernise them against the Russians. So it's all a bit of a mixed up bag of tricks he's got to offer. In other words, not thought through. His lack of cohesion says it's not properly thought through. And he is not a serious guy. He doesn't even want the goddamn job. I bet he would litigate till the cows come home if it was close like it was a few years ago with one of the presidential candidates against Bush. I forget the guy's name. It's the guy who couldn't spell potatoes. Or potato, sorry, stuck an E at the end accidentally. But he was... I think Trump would be happy to litigate and to snipe away from the sidelines and never actually become president, where Hillary Clinton would actually like to be the president and would be quite upset if she didn't get it, probably. She's not the worst president you could have by far. And we still don't know what happened in 9/11. I'm not saying Hillary Clinton will get to the bottom of it, but Bush was in power, a Republican, when that happened, and for some reason, despite Republicans being known for patriotism, he didn't seem to want to get right to the bottom of what occurred.